If you've ever gone through a difficult situation, a trial in life, or if you're going through one right now, chances are that you've asked, why? Why me? Why now? Why this? Let me tell you something. Asking why is one of the most pointless things you can do. Let's talk about it. Hey there, I'm Mario Escobedo. Thanks for checking out Equipped. This is a channel dedicated to adding value to your spiritual growth. If you haven't had a chance, take a moment to subscribe to my YouTube channel. That way you're always up to date on the Bible studies that I post. Difficult times, trials, we've all been there. You might be going through something like that right now. And like I said in the intro, chances are that if you've ever been through a difficult situation, a trial, you have probably asked why, or some variation of the question why. Why me? Why now? Why this? In reality, asking why is one of the most pointless things you can do when you're going through a trial. Now, there are two reasons why I say that, and I'm basing this talk on James chapter 1, verses 2 and 3, a very well-known passage, especially as it relates to trials. Now, here's the first reason I say asking why when you're going through a trial is pointless. If you ask why and God somehow opened up the heavens and spoke to you audibly and answered your why question, meaning He told you why you're going through this trial, I'm willing to bet that you would not be satisfied with the answer. In fact, you would probably ask why again. It's what we did when we were kids. We would ask our parents a question, they would answer, we would say why. They would answer that question and we would say why. We were never satisfied with the answer. And again, I think that even as adults, if we were to ask God why and He were to tell us why, we wouldn't be satisfied with the answer. We would probably respond with another why. The second reason why I say asking why is pointless is, well, the Bible has pretty much already answered the why question. And I'm pointing to James chapter 1, verses 2 and 3 for that answer. If you want to know why you're going through a trial, well, the answer is already given to us in James chapter 1, verses 2 and 3. James chapter 1, verse 2 pretty much guarantees that we're going to go through trials. Look at what it says. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds. Notice that James didn't say if you face trials. He pretty much guaranteed when he said whenever you go through trials, he's guaranteeing that we are going to go through trials. Then he gives us the reason we go through trials in verse 3. Look at what it says. Because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. The way I see it, James gives us the answer to the why question we have when we go through any trial. Basically, we go through trials in order that perseverance would be produced in us. What does that mean? Trials produce growth. It's for spiritual growth and maturity that we have to go through trials. Now, we may not like that, but essentially, spiritual growth, maturity, perseverance comes only through trials. You can't buy perseverance. You can't borrow spiritual maturity from someone else, and you're certainly not going to find growth just somewhere out there in a corner somewhere. You have to go through trials in order to attain that perseverance, growth, and maturity. So let me propose something to you. And what I'm about to share with you is the big idea of this teaching. It's really the one thing I want you to take away from this teaching. When you're going through a trial, don't ask why, ask what? What type of growth is this trial intended to produce in me? What am I supposed to learn from this trial? What is God trying to teach me through this trial? Essentially, which is the area of my life that this trial is showing me needs growth, maturity, and perseverance? So when you're going through a trial, don't ask why, ask what. When you're going through a trial, keep this in mind. God is on your side. God doesn't allow trials to come to your life because He wants to squash you or see you defeated. Completely the opposite. God allows us to go through trials because He wants to produce spiritual growth, perseverance, and maturity in our spiritual walk. So if you're going through a trial in life right now, I know it's hard, but remember this, at the other side of this trial is growth, perseverance, and maturity that God has in store for you. And when you're going through this trial, you're probably going to be tempted to ask why, but don't do that. When you're going through a trial, don't ask why. Ask what. I hope this teaching added value to your spiritual growth. If you feel that it did, I certainly would appreciate you leaving a like, a comment, and sharing this with others. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you're always up to date on the Bible studies that I post. Now, as a side note, I'm changing the frequency of these postings. Up until now, I've been doing these once a week, but I'm changing the format to twice a month. I'll be posting the second and fourth Tuesday of every month. Now, you gotta understand that I really love doing these videos. It's one of my favorite things to do. However, it is a huge time investment. And so I made this decision to change to the second and fourth Tuesday of every month because I feel that I need to be a better steward of the time that I have. So be on the lookout because I'll be posting a new Bible study the second and fourth Tuesday of every month. Thanks again for tuning in. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.